Now, there's this bill which passed in Texas, and people online are calling it the anti-anime bill. It may not be accurate. We'll talk about it in a bit, but before, I want to address something about anime. Now, most of you that watch it, you know that anime has fan service. This is due to the fact that on planet Earth there are different cultures, right? Like people decide that they have different norms and different values. And what shocks and terrifies one culture is something that another culture may not consider as serious. In Japan, for example, when it comes to cartoons, even the ones for kids, they're fine with using sexual humor as a joke. So, unlike in the United States, when I grew up with actual actors simulating sex, like for instance Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you had underage characters and that they were played by real actresses and they had sex under the blankets, right? Kind of like that, but in Japan, for instance, you have a scene where Goku lifts off Bulma's underwear and asks why are there no balls, right? Or you have like someone falling down and accidentally grabbing a titty and the woman smacks him. Like these are things that are done for comedy. And it's called fan service. Now, again, this was going on for decades. Like Dragonball, for instance, was on mainstream television. Nobody had a problem with the sexual aspect of the fan service. I remember growing up, people had the problem with the violence. There was even a newspaper article explaining just how concerned people are, because there's this scene where Frieza uses his horn to pierce Krillin's chest, and Krillin pukes blood, and Frieza just starts bouncing him on the horn, and it's a really disturbing scene, right? So, like, that was something that people at the time had an issue with. The fan service was considered toilet humor, wasn't anything more edgy than what South Park would show. Like, people wouldn't even cringe, it wouldn't even register, because, like, most people said it's cartoons. Like, the main problem was, like, why are you getting off on cartoons? Like, are you broken in the head? Why can't you get off on normal people? That was what the generation that I was growing up was saying, right? It's like, if you're a man, you're supposed to watch real porn. I'm not kidding. Like, that was actually it. It's like, what is this nonsense with cartoons? Like, wow, are you sick? Like, no one watches cartoons. You need to watch real actors doing real stuff. Anyway, right. But recently, there have been concerned with underage characters. Now, again, for most of the time on the internet, usually it was a concern with prepubescent characters in cartoons, right? But now it seems no. Listen. If it's 17, you should go to prison. It's like, all right, well, fine. You know, like, just tell me what the rules are. Like, I will do whatever. Like, I don't have morals. I borrow other people's morals. If they're telling me that the cartoon is a problem, then I will make sure that I call the cops nonstop whenever I'm browsing Twitter. But in Texas, right, like, they passed this bill, and they're basically saying that it's actually more than that. It's not just like if it's 17 and it's a cartoon doing sex. It's like, no. If it's in a sexual situation, right? So if the situation is sexual, is enough to become a problem. And so when you look at manga and when you look at anime, a lot of them have sexual situations. Now, again, I assume that the rule was that because in Texas you have a lot of LGBT books in schools that do put kids in a lot of sexual situations, and they want to crack down on those. And also, there's a problem with AI, right? Like, there's a lot of AI-generated stuff. So, when they wrote the rule, they probably didn't expect that anime is going to fall under. Now, here's the interesting part. I was actually told by someone that, no, you don't understand, V, like, the rule actually applies to obscenity, and that's clearly defined. It's not going to affect anime. Whatever the case may be, it seems that people are uncertain, and people don't want to go to prison. And when I say people, I mean individuals that run comic book shops, manga stores, right? You can't really operate a business and have a law like this and say, okay, well, trust me, bro, you're not going to go to prison. No one wants to go to prison over cartoons, right? And so, like, people are going to do the safe thing and just not show cartoons that have fan service. And here you have, like, an individual that decided Dragon Ball is a problem. Again, Dragon Ball is a cartoon that aired in Romania. It had absolutely no censorship, at least not in my country. You got to see Goku's pee-pee. You got to see, I think, like even Bulma's titties. Again, national television, right? Because it was done in a humorous way. It was a couple of frames. It wasn't pornographic. And at the time, like, people didn't think much of it. But again, now I understand it's a big problem, so the crackdown has to happen. But what's interesting is that a lot of people on the internet that are Dragon Ball fans, they're also really interested in sanitizing the internet. And one of the things that was told to them, it's like, look, if you're going to start sanitizing anime, eventually the stuff that you like is going to be sanitized. And they were like, no, the stuff I like is pure and innocent. The stuff you like is disgusting and degenerate. And so it turns out that in Texas, you have this person which censored the stuff that they like, which seems to be Dragon Ball, right? Now, here's the deal. At the end of the day, doesn't really matter what a comic book store owner sells or doesn't, because, like, let's be honest, most people that read manga and watch anime, they probably don't go to a brick and mortar store to buy it. What does matter, however, is that Crunchyroll, which is an American company, is situated in Texas. And many anime, as I mentioned, have fan service, like probably more than half of them. And so Crunchyroll is going to start carbon dating every single anime girl. Because again, like if it would be prepubescent, like that's easy. But in anime, you have like a girl that has like massive tits, thunderous thighs. And you look on her Wikipedia and it says 17. Clearly a case of child pornography summoned from the ether. And so is the Texas law going to apply? I don't think so. Okay, like this is the interesting part. I don't think it will apply because if that was the case, Crunchyroll would be already on high alert. Like they would already have their legal teams, they would already start removing anime, or they would consider moving away from Texas. Crunchyroll is a very large business. Obviously, they would care about being affected. So no, I don't think it's going to apply. But you never know, right? Still, better safe than sorry, I guess this is what the comic book owner has said. I do believe, though, that Crunchyroll is going to make new terms of service, right? Like, they're going to go against fan service, which means that anime studios that want their product to be released on Crunchyroll are probably going to have to abide to the new regulations, which is something that you already see. Like, this is why a lot of video games like Sony and that are published by Sony or are published by Nintendo, they go out of their way to censor. And of course, you know, like if you look at American sensibilities, they're pretty fine with gay stuff and queer stuff and transgender stuff. Like that, if you have The Last of Us 2, for example, right? And you have like the sex scenes there. Americans are fine with that. But like if you were to take like the same sex scene and reproduce it frame by frame and you put Stellar Blade in it, all of a sudden Americans freak out, right? I think I listen to some right-wingers, like they say a lot of women in America are on the pill, and when they take a piss, like it goes into the water and then Americans drink it. Is that correct? No, seriously, like that's a thing that I heard on Twitter. And so like maybe that would explain why they're freaking out from the titty, because it's not just about the anime girls, it's like in general, right? Like Sydney Sweeney, for instance, have freaked out a lot of Americans. Probably explains why they don't want to have kids. I mean, right? Like if they look at a woman like Sydney Sweeney and they're like, titty, they probably don't want a real woman either, right? I can only assume. But anyway, my take is that while the law probably doesn't target anime, because otherwise Crunchyroll would have freaked out, you will probably see stricter terms of service. You're going to see less fan service on anime, and of course you're going to see an increase in people using AI, right? Because they're not saying that, okay, listen up, guys, like, it's not okay to consume this stuff, right? Like, it's not okay for your pee-pee to grow big when you see a woman, right? They haven't done that. So, like, people still think it's okay to have their pee-pee grow when they see a woman. And therefore, if they can't get it from anime, they will probably get it from AI or other places. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.